In this video, I'm going to be really going in deep to the astrology and the energies for this middle of February 2023, building us towards this new moon that we have in Pisces on February 19th and 20th, and picking up the energy that we are already getting into as we move into March, which is going to be a very transformational, fast-moving time. And one of my intentions for offering these videos, and especially this one, is so that you know what's coming. You know how to move through these moments. You understand what these energies are asking of you in your personal life, as well as the collective. How can we meet these energies? How can we flow with them rather than resisting? So we're going to talk about so much of that, weaving in astrology from other systems as well. So I hope you find this very supportive and helpful. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Chrissy Whistler. I am an intuitive, an astrologer. Obviously, I'm also a healer. Now, if this is a very intense time for you, and it really is for so many people, please know that I do see you and that you are not alone. If you would like a birth chart reading for yourself, chart your stars, where we look and see the time of your birth. Where are the planets? What is your soul's evolutionary intention for this lifetime? Why you're having maybe difficult and challenging experiences that you are. So much of that can be revealed in a birth chart reading. So if you are interested, please do reach out and contact me. You can find out more information below at my website at chrissywhistler.com. And please like this video, share this video with your friends, subscribe to this channel. That truly does help me so much to get this message out there and to connect with more people like you. And I do want to say how much I appreciate you. Appreciate you for being here. Appreciate you for saying yes to this moment in time. And let's be honest, it is not an easy moment. So thank you, truly, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being here. All right, so let us get into these astrologies, the energies. And again, how can I support you and help you to move through them with a little bit more ease and grace? Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but at least you will know what's coming and what's being asked of you in these moments. So the first thing I actually want to ask is, how are you doing? Truly. This has been, I'm also a channel, an intuitive. So asking that and tuning into the energies, there's a lot of emotion that's actually coming in, a lot of grief. And actually it feels, just in this asking of you, your parts, your stories, the energies that are, again, around all of us in this collective at this time, and this acknowledging of how difficult it is. That's what I'm feeling, is this just intense gratitude as well for just the acknowledgement. I'm just smiling because when I asked that, I didn't expect that to come through. So I just kind of want to take a moment, if you don't mind, to really just honor you and honor everyone in our collective right now and what we're going through. Kiyosokoyata beya sakaya toiyaka iyasayato koyasikiyata. I also speak light language, which is a soul-to-soul communication, interaction. Cuts out the words of language. Okay, clearing that from the throat, cuts out the stuck energies, and goes right to the heart, the frequency, the vibration Anyway, that's not what I was expecting any of this beginning of the video to be, but it is what it is. So thank you for holding space and witnessing this all come out as well. And I really wanted to just initially take this moment to talk about the energies. Obviously, there's a lot of grief coming through. It's in the field right now. So right after this full moon that we had on February 6th, it was a very powerful week, very intense week. I personally don't stay super up to breast with the news and the media and the world. That just doesn't work for me and my energy and what my children, because I am a parent and a home educator of my unique sensitive kids. So I really try to focus my energy and my boundaries on them. So I don't keep abreast of everything that's happening because it takes me really down into places of fear. So I try to have very limited interaction with that. So, but I do know there's a lot going on, and even still, I was really feeling it for myself that week of the 6th. I was actually camping at Joshua Tree National Park with my children, and it was very intense. The energy made Uranus, who was very highlighted at that full moon. Uranus will continue to be highlighted through this month. I'll get more into that, but a very electrical, eruptive time. Uranus is in Taurus, which is a fixed earth sign. So sadly, earthquakes can be the result of this as well. Tectonic shifts, geomagnetic shifts as well. And of course, we did see that tragedy occur in Syria and Turkey right at that time as well. And I was certainly picking that up in the field. In fact, we had increased geomagnetics from our sun, and then 30 minutes later, we had the earthquake. So I just really wanted to speak and share with you about last week. I'm filming this on the 14th because I want to ground you, where if you've had this experience of these energies, it helps so much to hear other people share their experience and their stories. So please, in the comments, let me know, let others know, how are you? Were you feeling this? Are you feeling this very agitated soul energy right now? A very eruptive, fiery, combustible, very divisive, warlike energy. So ramping and building, and can you feel it? It's you can almost taste it. Now, for us, when we were at Joshua Tree, it's actually a big desert area, and they have lots of military bases around there. And when I'm farther south, I'm used to having more of that military activity and training going on, where you can hear the machine guns and the pop, 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 or the actual explosion of bombs being tested, where you even see the big dust clouds and the boom and it shakes the windows, that kind of experience. But at Joshua Tree, in that more northern area, I don't usually get that. We usually have more planes flying into the national park. Joshua Tree is also a very big vortex, a portal of energy, and it truly is. But that week, it was there was a lot more military testing that was going on. Not as noticeable and obvious as the big dust clouds that I experienced farther south, but it was this constant something being dropped, earth vibrations, and I just kept looking over my shoulder. I'm what is going on? I could just feel the agitation in the field. And I found myself really kind of being pulled drafted in by the universe to actually hold a different vibration there. this frequency of love, this frequency of what I want this new earth to be for my children, and you better believe it's not one of war. So me and my kids were kind of like put there in that moment. So, let me know, did you have any experiences like that? I mean, at one point we walked into a gas station and there were two people were very unhappy, and they weren't arguing with each other, but they were arguing about something in the world. And it was like, I just felt like I got slammed with their energy, like a ton of bricks out of nowhere. And it's like, oh, this isn't even mine. Clearing that energy. So, and then we had the sun being very active that week of the 6th. It's gotten a little quieter. Now I'm filming this on the 14th, but that week, within a 5-day period, we had 26 M-class solar flares and a very powerful X-class flare on the 11th, which also happened to be the same day that Pluto entered into the critical degree 29 degrees of Capricorn. So I'm going to start to weave in some of this astrology for you, but it's like there's a lot of interlinking, interweaving of these energies. Now, I am sensitive to the sun, and when it does crazy stuff, the morning of the X-class flare, I was super groggy. I had a headache. I'm not someone who usually gets headaches, but it was like right there at my third eye and my temples, and I could just feel it. And I could barely like function or think. Like, it was a very odd experience. And then an hour later, we had an X-class flare. And then my symptoms started to recede after that. But, I'm sharing this. You might also be sensitive, and you might want to go and start tracking, what is the sun doing? What are the geomagnetic conditions of the sun? Like, are you feeling it in your heart? Are you feeling dizziness all of a sudden or weak? Like, those are the kind of things that you can start to track. So, let me know, how are you doing? Are you feeling this agitation in the air, or are you feeling it from your soul? And I really want to encourage you to see, witness, and integrate whatever is bubbling up to the surface for you at this time. This is a very important period for all of us to make what is unconscious conscious. All of our stories, patterns, what we've inherited from our ancestry and lineage. This is the time that we can really start to dig into those shadows, shine a light there so we can clear it, so we can move forward into this new future. I also want to encourage you, with no matter what's happening in your life, whatever is happening in the world and will continue to happen, to really stay in your heart space and what it is that you are here to create and to bring forward at this time. What it is that you feel in your heart and your soul, no matter the distractions, no matter what arises around you in the world. I do feel and believe that these distractions and challenges are going to be coming in very strong, especially as we're building towards this energy of March. And I'll talk about that a little bit later in this video. And then, of course, I will be continuing to talk about it into March and beyond. We have Saturn will be moving into Pisces the beginning of March, and then Pluto will be following March 23rd. So March is a very big, powerful month, and it's really asking us to hold on, because there's big changes coming. They are necessary. This crumbling, this cracking open of our world and systems and structures, because we're here to build something new. I don't know about you, but I'm really here to create this new golden age, this new future for myself, for my children, and for yours as well. Okay, so I'm going to start to weave in some more of this astrology for you. This is astrology and energy, so I want to give you a little bit of both. We have this new moon that's in Pisces on the 19th or 20th, depending on where you live in the world. But just know that from the 6th, okay, from that full moon and bringing us towards this new moon on the 19th, we could be really having an experience of sharp, powerful, even cutting words. There could be experiences around expectations, obligations by our systems and structures. You might even have this experience of your boss or coworkers being sharp with you, cutting, angry with their words. Maybe you are not doing a good enough job, or you're not capable. Like, that's the kind of message that can be really coming through. We have Mercury conjunct Pluto right now. And you might also have this experiences of others projecting their opinions and beliefs onto you, or you may very well be projecting your opinions, your beliefs, your unconscious onto others. And actually that exact conjunction between the two of those was the same day as that X-class solar flare from the sun. And just so you know, X-class is like the highest. It's like A, B, C, M, and then goes to X, and then there's a number as well from there. So X-class is very powerful. I think we've already had like 4 of them this year, 4 or 5. We usually only get 10 a year. So it's a big thing. It's a big, powerful thing, and our sun is going to continue to get more active as we build to the height of the solar activity, which it goes through every 11-year cycle. So just know that's also happening too. So again, just coming back into the words, just be really careful and mindful around your words. Are you listening first, or are you jumping to conclusions based on how you intellectually perceive the world? This can also be around body, identity, sexuality, desires, partnerships. How any of those areas may have been distorted by the past. What may not have been allowed or was seen as taboo or wrong. There can be a real deep healing around those energies, and it can be very expansive. We have Jupiter in Aries conjunct to Chiron. So this wounded healer, and Chiron is right next to the Juno, the partnership asteroid. So this is going to be this collective theme for all of us, really coming in, healing of our body, our sexuality, desires, sovereignty, how we are sovereign even as we're in relationships with other people. Okay, clearing that out of the way. So how might we take this time, if we're doing this very big healing work, to actually care for ourselves, to nourish ourselves? And there can be this experience, this being pushed, pulled between giving of yourself to others and the deep healing that you need. And are you doing that? Or are you just giving of yourself and never caring for yourself? And are you doing this in a way that works for you? Or are you only doing what others want you to do? All of those energies that I just described, Jupiter, Juno, Chiron, they're right now opposite to Ceres and Libra. So there is this balancing of the self and other, nourishing, caring for ourselves, even as we are with others and in partnership. So take care of yourself. And all of those energies are as well are an aspect to Black Moon Lilith, who's in Leo, and then the south node of the moon in Scorpio. So there's this real waking up as well of past experiences where that might have been denied to us, or past experiences from our own childhood, past lives, like deep emotional, unconscious stuff coming up to the surface. That's like, hey, you see this right here? I'm not going to go away until you heal me. So it can be a very intense, emotional time as we're going into those past energies. We're going in there and clearing them out. And so this question, this opportunity really becomes, how can we establish new wisdom around all those energies? What is right for us? What is right for our own inner child? Our emotions, our need for safe space. So we might have to really dig our heels in as well to the outside world to give ourselves the space that we need so we can do this healing. So make sure that you make time for yourself. Make yourself a priority. And starting on February 11th and then until March 22nd, Pluto is at this 29 degrees of Capricorn. Pluto is going to be going into Aquarius, again, end of March, the 23rd, for about 6 weeks and then retrograding back. Pluto is going to be doing this dance until the end of 2024. Pluto is about a 20-year in a sign, okay? So it's generational. So it's a big deal when Pluto moves into another zodiac sign. And Saturn is going to be doing this as well. That anaretic degree of Aquarius on the 27th until March 7th and then moving into Pisces. So what does any of that mean, right? What that can mean is stronger control being exerted at this time. The anaretic degree, that 29, is it's like this hypercritical, hyper-focused, where we can have this distortion of those Aquarian or Capricorn energies. Capricorn is top-down structures and control. Saturn is also the ruler of Capricorn. So there can be this limitation on freedom, on not being allowed to be free. Systems, structures, authority, governments really kind of coming in and trying to hold on to the old ways of doing things. So I feel we're going to continue to see that kind of energy like tightening and really coming up to the surface. Lots of distractions coming forward. I think you can just look around in the news and see some of those. Again, I don't stay super focused, but even just being the observer, which is what I try to do, is to really be the observer and to be in this place of non-duality with it. And it's like, oh, we're possibly shooting down UFOs. Okay. Right? Like, that doesn't feel like a distraction. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, just can you take a step back and tune into yourself? And I'm not saying any of that is true or not. I'm witnessing it. I'm just kind of seeing, whew, my heart started beating it really fast right there. I'm just kind of feeling some of the anxiety and the fear in the field right now. And I just wanted to say that I really see you. And if you start to feel that, if you start to just, your heart's starting to beat faster, or you're getting really tense and constricted, or your energy, you just feel yourself kind of really closing in, start to just take some deep breaths. Tune in to your body, your 5 senses, and really be present. Focus on that present moment. Focus on the next 24-hour cycle, not a month from now, not 6 months, not a year from now. Putting our energy out into the future isn't going to help, especially when we're getting cycled and stuck in those places of fear and contraction. We can't create. and manifest when we're really contracted. So just focus on your breath and let that take you, bring you back into your body. And I also want to say too, on February 22nd, that is going to be a big portal day in general. So in numerology, I may I'm tuning in and I'm really feeling that we might expect something coming forward at that time. Sorry about that. That was my family at the door. So anyway, as I was saying, on the 22nd is a big numerology portal day. 222. It's also the numbers around faith and trust. So we may expect to have something big happen in the world at that time, playing out. Just for example, last year, which is of 2022, so it was even more powerful. That was around the same time, I think within a day of when Russia invaded the Ukraine. So there can be something like that playing out, and I do feel that we're starting to feel, those of us who are sensitive are starting to really pick up on that agitated soul energy. So be very mindful, especially at this time, of holding your heart space. This has certainly been quite the energy intense day for me as I am trying to film this video for you guys. Wow, okay. So yes, please know around the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, yeah, let's clear that out. Around those dates we can may expect something playing out on the world stage. But it's not just about that. It's also going to be a lot of insight coming in for us as well at this more spiritual level. So it's not just about these outside forces and trying to get control, distracting us. There's also a lot coming in for us with this higher timeline that we absolutely can tap into. So please be sure that you find whatever stillness that you need, quiet, so you can hear that guidance coming in for you. And there's other astrology that's going to be really heightened with that, especially between Uranus and Mercury, but I'll come to that in a moment. What I am going to share now that I finished that thread is on Valentine's Day, the 14th, we do have Mars in a hard aspect to Pluto. So this can be a very powerful day as well. Very challenging energies as my son and is currently going through. So just kind of know that we could be seeing that playing out in our lives. A government control as well versus our own individual rights can be coming up. Just intense. I've been really holding space for two dear friends today as well. So it is in the field, and I'm now trying to even just move through and surrender to what is with my son and just his energy and just kind of accepting that this video is just going to be the way it is, and that's okay. On the 15th, though, we do have Venus and Neptune in Pisces, and they will be conjunct. So that is a real beautiful signature, bringing in this higher love, this higher beauty, and perhaps can we even envision what that can be for this future? Can we see ourselves in the other? Can we see that even with our differences, we are also all one? So that is a lovely vibration to hold, and try and do your best to hold on to that. This is a very feminine energy, very receptive, a yin energy. And to weave in with the galactic Mayan calendar, we are beginning another 13-day cycle, which will be bringing us into this wizard wave spell on the 16th. And that's all about this feminine receptive energy. I will be linking to a short video below from my teacher, Padma Kandro. So if you would like more about this non-dual astrology way of seeing these energies, please check her out because she's going to go into more details than I am. I just want to weave with you and the Western astrology for what's happening, because there is this beautiful synergy that's taking place, and this roadmap, how we can follow these energies and be the most supportive for us, even at what is a very difficult time. This wizard energy that we're going to be feeling on that 16th and that 13-day cycle will be a prelude for July. And that's when the Galactic Mayan calendar begins its new year, and it will be a wizard year. So some of the questions that you can be really honing in and looking at this time, and we'll again see this repeated theme with the other astrology systems. Are we in alignment with nature? Have we done our clearing work? That's been a big theme. January and February is clearing work. Are we reading the signs of nature herself? Are you listening to what the universe is speaking to you? This is a very beautiful energy, as Venus also governs listening. And here we have Pisces, which is all about source energy, the universe, cosmic consciousness. So we are truly being invited by the universe to align with these energies. This is not the time to really forge ahead, in the sense of getting ahead of yourself. Again, yin energy is soft, receptive, moving with the flow, where yang is masculine, okay? That's moving forward, getting things done, forging ahead, plowing new directions, right? Like that kind of woof energy. That's not this period that we're in, okay? So if you do find yourself wanting to do the more yang approach, which is all around our world, our society and systems is very Capricorn orientated, success, productivity, goals, like that's how our world is orientated towards. And here we are moving, this evolving into this new direction of actually being in balance with the masculine way of doing things, but also feminine, cyclical, flow, listening, being receptive. So right now, okay, this is that time to be in flow, to soften. The universe, if we're listening, will tell us if we are chasing our tails or if we are chasing the wrong path. But again, we have to look for those signs and messages. We have to listen. And even as I'm speaking, I'm getting a lot of ringing out of my left ear, so that's interesting as well. But that same energy, we see that in Western astrology as well. So here we have that Venus, Neptune conjunction is very beautiful. And right at the same time is we're having Sun and Saturn are conjunct in Aquarius. And they will also be conjunct at the new moon on the 19th as well. So are we being allowed to shine our light, to be our own creative self, to actualize our creative expressions, to be our own mad scientists and just go and experiment? Or are we being held down and restricted? Are we getting slapped on our wrist? And if we are, maybe there's a reason for that. Because Saturn is this taskmaster. Saturn is pushing us to work for it, to not rush ahead, to not forge too fast, because Saturn doesn't want us to repeat those karmic cycles of the past. So again, it's like we're being aligned up. We're getting ready to really move forward, but we're not quite at go time yet. It's not quite ready to forge ahead, but instead to soften, to follow, to go with the flow, to have beautiful dreaming at this time. And that will be continuing this theme throughout these energies for February and other areas as well. So on the 19th at 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we have our new moon, and that is at 1 degree of Pisces. So please look in your birth chart, see what house that falls in for you, if you have any planets there. And if you need help with that and would like, again, a birth chart reading, do please reach out. So set an intention, especially around where that 1 degree of Pisces is falling for you. What's also really beautiful is this 19th is the start of the new year in the traditional Mayan calendar. So again, we have this weaving of the systems and these energies coming through to support us at this time. This is also a super new moon, which means the moon is going to be closer to Earth in its orbit. So much stronger energy. Earthquakes, seismic, giant shifts in consciousness as well. This can be overly emotional new moon because this is in Pisces. Can feel very overwhelmed, flooded with emotions. Pisces is linked to source energy and unconditional love. We are all one. Harmony, mystical energy is Neptune in Pisces. And this is also linked with Lemuria energy. And how interesting, because this is linking to Haumea, the Hawaiian goddess, and Hawaii is also tied to this ancient Lemurian civilization. So I'll get to Haumea in just a moment. Just kind of know again that we're having this weaving, this energy, this threading that's really coming forward. So despite whatever's happening in the world, and it's crazy out there, and it's intense, again, fiery, combustible, there's also so much beautiful energy and support that's coming in that's like, hey, we really can do something different. Do you want to do something different? Do you want to really tune in and drop into the heart space and go do the new different thing? Yeah, let's go do that. So that is in the field for us and available for us to really dive into and tap into. Now, the lower octave, lower expressions of Pisces can be around illusion, delusion, fantasy, are also pharmaceuticals and drugs. So that could be interesting as well. That new moon is also conjunct to Saturn, who's in Aquarius. So Saturn's there in that mix. There could be more push for control around those areas of Pisces. Again, pharmaceutical, drugs, news, media. Or we can have this experience of things coming to the surface from the shadows, from the darkness, the past. So we'll see. We can also have a new beginning around those areas too. So, like really set your intention and hold to your heart space, no matter what's happening in the world. This can also be bringing up emotions from the past, from the darkest shadows within us. Those places that we haven't wanted to look at before. But if it comes up for you, go look there. Go into the darkness of yourself and see what is there. Now, if you do that, okay, what's really beautiful, as I mentioned, Haumea. Now, the new moon is trine to the south node, which is in Scorpio. So that's why we can be having all these past experiences coming up to the surface. But Haumea is conjunct that south node of the moon in Scorpio. So she's bringing in this very healing, beautiful, regenerative energy. Just this regeneration of healing from those darkest depths. So no matter what we see in the darkness and the shadows, she is bringing in this ability to heal it. So really go inwards. especially if you need to, go find the stillness. Find whatever it is that you need for space to heal, to hear whatever spiritual messages may be coming in for you. These messages coming from the universe, the land. Okay, again, we're in that wizard wave spell. And pull away from whatever's happening in the outside world and tune back into yourself, back into your dreams and what you are here to create, what you are gestating at this time. I also mentioned Mercury earlier in the video. Mercury is in Aquarius and is going to be square to Uranus. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. So we can have a lot of information coming in at this time. Some creative tension between our lower mind and even potentially being distracted or unfocused or jumping around. So we actually don't get a chance to hear the messages coming in from our higher mind, which is Uranus and Aquarius. So really be in stillness this time. Be in nature, okay? That's Taurus energy. That's being present in our bodies. Connect to your bodies, connect into your five senses, to the earth, or even with water, because we do have this new moon in Pisces. And that's so you can hear these messages and downloads that are coming in. They could be very fast, shocking, insightful. They could be from the future itself. So galactic information as well. A very activated mind at this time. So be very gracious with yourself. You could have this experience of the rug getting ripped out from under you, especially when it comes to our intellect, our mind, our mental beliefs even. You know, as we have these truths coming to the surface, again, like, woof, we're suddenly on our butts because we just had the rug ripped out and we're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to think anymore. I don't know what to believe, what is true, what is not true. Some of that can be this experience as well. But we can be getting a lot of healing insight also. Healing opportunities that can be very different, experimental and unique. We have Chericlo, okay, so she's there conjunct to Mercury. So she's going to be really holding this container for us, holding this sacred space for healing. And however that needs to be, she's going to be holding that for us. This new moon is also opposite to Black Moon Lilith, and I mentioned her energy earlier. She is very feisty, strong, this primordial feminine energy, creatrix, raw, okay, raw, primordial. She is natural law, which again is, here's this reflection back with our wizard wave spell. So this could also be coming up for us around how our natural law has been oppressed and repressed by our systems and structures, our countries and governments all over the world, and how that natural law has been suppressed. So we could be feeling that, some of that energy as well, really rising up to the surface, okay? Coming into this energy of standing our ground around natural law and calling that energy right back for us of like, no, I am sovereign and this is my right. So that kind of energy can be, woof. She's a very powerful force, Black Moon Lilith. And as I mentioned, Saturn is going to be moving into Pisces in the beginning of March. So we could be, with this new moon is at 1 degree of Pisces. This can be a preview of what's to come as Saturn finishes this last 29 degrees of Pisces, and Aquarius, and moves into Pisces. So it can be this energy of what to expect. Just as a refresher for you, when Saturn moved into Aquarius, Aquarius is liberation, freedom. Excuse me. Saturn moved into Aquarius. Saturn is control, top-down authority, government control. And what happened that exact same time is the whole world went into lockdown for the pandemic. So, you know, Saturn is restriction and constriction. So we might see some of that coming forward with all these Pisces themes. But it's also, and we'll talk more about this into March, but it's also around spiritual mastery, Pisces and Saturn. Saturn wants us to be masters at it, but it's like, no, you got to work for it. So there can be some of that coming through as well. And if we do see this more control coming in of a governmental authority, I don't believe it's going to last, especially if we as collective humanity can really focus our energy and on what we are here to create. And so again, here we have this energy that's weaving together. This is this time to be a dreamer, to be open, to have these visions of the future that we are creating, and then to stand firm, to stand in our power, stand our ground in order to create those dreams. We see that as well with Pisces, Neptune in Algeria are bringing in this dreaming energy. And Black Moon Lilith, okay, she's over there with Jupiter in Aries. So there's just asking as well to step into our courage, our power to make those dreams real. Now, Algeria is a dwarf planet, and she's conjunct to Mars in Gemini. And so her symbolism is associated with the Aborigines of Australia and their big dreaming and how they walk the song lines. And as they do, they're weaving and they're dreaming in what they're desiring for their future as their reality. And that's this invitation for all of us to do the same. We are dreaming, we are doing this tantric dance of being here at this time, moving through some very difficult energies, what's crumbling, what Pluto is doing, coming through those last Capricorn degrees, okay? Really grinding away what in our world and structures isn't working. That's Pluto's job, bringing that to the surface so it can be transformed. That phoenix rising from this ashes, and Saturn's going to be doing that in his way, okay, with moving into Pisces. So there is this energy of things are breaking down, yes. There's also this energy of big dreaming. So really tune into yourself and into your heart and dream up your reality. Because we are co-creators of this reality, of this dream. So the question really comes back to each of us is, what do you want that dream to be? Now, I do know that was a lot of information. I appreciate you all so much for being here on the planet at this time. Again, I know it's not easy. If you are struggling and need support, do please reach out. If you would like a birth chart reading or healing session, I am here to support you, as well as intuitive readings. So check out my website again. And please like this video, subscribe to this channel. It really does help me so much. I appreciate all of you for being here. Thank you for saying yes to this journey and for saying yes to finding a new way that is yours. I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.